Hi everybody, the deck list we have here today is a mono blue devotion deck. We have 20 lands in the list, 12 of them are islands. We have a full set of Nykthos to produce a bunch of mana. We have 2 Cavern of Souls to give our creatures uncounterable, and then a couple Castle Vantress just in case we're getting mana flooded and we need to fix our draws. And then we have a set of Witching Well and Omen of the Sea to also help fix our draws, because they scry when they enter, as well as Omen drawing us a card. And then we have a set of Spreading Seas and Seas Flame to also add to our devotion and mana screw our opponents by turning their lands into islands, as well as Spreading Seas also replacing itself. We have Harbinger of the Tides to set our opponents a little behind by bouncing their tapped creatures. And then you can cast it as though it had flash if you spent an extra 2. So even late game, it's still very good. It's a nice combat trick. We have a set of Thassa's Oracle, which will once again also help fix our draws by letting us, in essence, scry based on our devotion. And then we have 3 Thassa, God of the Sea, which at the beginning of our upkeep we get to scry 1, so still fixing our draws, as well as being able to spend 2 to give a creature we have unblockable. And then we have 2 Kira that gives our creatures a bubble, which makes our opponent have to target our creatures twice with kill spells or damage spells, etc., to actually affect them. And then we have 2 Brazen Borrowers, which lets us return non-land permanents and gives us a 3/1 flyer that has 2 blue in the cost, so it also adds a lot to our devotion. And then for other, like kill spell, we have 2 Dismember, so you need something as a kill spell. Spending 4 life kind of sucks, but playing mono blue, you kind of have to actually have a straight kill spell, instead of just like bouncing it to their hand. Then we have a full set of Master Waves, which gives us a ton of creatures based on our devotion, and just lets us flood the board with 2/1s. Can use some to block if you need to, but really just to just power through some damage. And then we have 3 Gadwick, which, based on our devotion, you can use Nykthos to get a lot of mana, and helps you draw a ton of cards, as well as casting other blue spells and tapping down your opponent's permanents so that you can power through some damage. And then it's also good with Thassa's Oracle, because if you get to draw a ton of cards with Gadwick, Thassa's Oracle, the second part, where if your devotion, when you play it, like if that X is greater than the number of cards in your deck, you win the game. It can actually work with that. If you draw a ton of cards with Gadwick, the game goes a little bit longer than usual. Slam down a Thassa's Oracle with a decent amount of devotion on the board, you can actually win off of that. So it gives us a nice alternate win con. And then onto the sideboard, we have 1 more Dismember, just if you need another kill spell. But then we also have 2 Echoing Truth to bounce permanents back to our opponent's hand. And if they're playing tokens, this can be very devastating. And we have 3 Force Negation, just if we're playing against sorry, if we're playing against any deck that we just really need to counter what they're doing, on if they're playing something on their turn, it's an easy way to counter and catch them off guard, because we can tap out and then force something that they're playing. And then we have 3 Tidebinder Mage against any red or green decks. It's probably mostly going to be used against the like red aggro decks right now, with tapping down like a Swift Spear or something for a turn. Because usually they'll be tapping out, so on their next turn when they untap, their creature doesn't, but then they might have a bolt or something. But even that one extra turn and taking a spell out of their hand can be game changing. Other than that, like against any deck that plays big green creatures, Tidebinder is very good against that as well. And then we have a full set of Chalice, mostly against the aggro decks. Putting Chalice on one is more devastating to their decks than it is to ours. We can just pull out some Seize Claim and Witching Well to be able to put the Chalices in. And then last we have 2 Ashiok, which affects any deck that is using their graveyard. So we get to exile their whole graveyard with Ashiok, and you get to do that multiple times unless it gets hit. And then any deck that's searching their library a lot can really devastate them. Like any decks that use Primeval Titan, Scapeshift, or any deck that uses a lot of fetch lands can affect those as well. Other than that, I don't know how many other decks are really searching other than like fetch lands and Primeval Titan decks, but can still very much affect those. I guess Stoneforge Mystic as well, if we're really wanting to put Ashiok in against those kind of decks. But okay, that's the list. I hope it performs well today, and I will see you guys in the first match. Hi everybody, I have a game here. You know what, screw it, let's keep this. We have a bunch of stuff to do on turn 1, and we are on the play. So let's start out with a Witching Well. Always yield to these. Let's put Cure on the bottom and put the Spreading Seas on top. With no other creatures, we don't want... I guess Cure would be good still. But I don't think we necessarily need it. Okay, let's go another Witching Well. Maybe they'll fetch? No. Let's put both on top. They both fix our draws. Island, okay. End of the turn. Yep, they're gonna fetch. Or okay. Red. Okay. Sure. Huh. I wonder what they're playing. Let's try to Seize Claim this. See if they counter it. If they do, we have a Spreading Seas and we can actually draw a card off of it. Okay, Remand. Okay, let's Spreading Seas it now so that we get the draw. They know an extra card in our hand, but we weren't going to use that mana anyway. Yield through the turn. Okay, they're going to fetch right away for a Sacred Foundry. Tap out with the Teferi. Yeah, let's Seize Claim that. Cavern, name Wizard. And 1, 2, 3 for a Thassa. Yield through their turn because we have nothing. Yep, they're gonna bounce it, of course. Scalding Tarn. Mystic Sanctuary getting back the remand. Sure. Okay. So and sack that to draw cards. Or we can let's play Gadwick for blue. Blue, blue, and then X is 1. And cannot be countered. 4 mana for a 3/3 draw card. Drawing 1 off Gadwick isn't the greatest, but it does add to the devotion. And they're stuck on mono blue. Yield through the turn. So they can cast sorceries. I don't know what sorceries they'd necessarily want for blue-red. Do we just go to combat? We have Thassa's Oracle and Omen of the Sea. Let's play an Omen. Sure. Tap a non-land permanent and opponent controls. They're gonna remand, yep. Just push through the remand. Always yield. Okay, pushed through the first remand. Well, the second time. Let's Thassa's Oracle now. Because this was uncounterable, but you could still see what they were doing. Yep. I always yield to this. And what do we want on top? Probably Master of Waves? Especially with them only having blue-red available right now. No white. They have a full 7 cards in hand. Let's attack the fairy. Sure. Okay. Heal through the turn. Another Scalding Tarn. Wow, they've gotten a lot of fetch lands for a basic mountain. Sure, I can seize claim that. Bone Crusher. Giant. Weird, was not expecting Bone Crusher in this deck. Double Bone Crusher, okay. Knowing they have 2. Kind of sad that Gadwick got killed. 2, 3. Sure. Okay, let's go to combat. I guess depending on if they deal with this somehow, will determine what we do. They're just gonna take the damage. Okay. Then yeah, definitely we're gonna Master Waves and get 5 1/1s. Or 2/1s, I mean. Yield through the turn, of course. That's once again, we have nothing to do. Okay, so there's their planes. So now they have all their colors. Yeah, Jace to bounce the Master. Okay. Land for the turn. Let us seize claim the plains. I think I'm more worried about white than I am red. And then do we want to play Thassa? Or just try to recast Master? No, I think I want to try to get Thassa out. 2, 3. Thassa is now a creature. Okay. So Thassa's being... Oh yeah. I kind of forgetting that these are counting towards a devotion over there. But yeah, devotion is 6. So Thassa can block the Bone Crusher. Oh, he's brainstorming. Okay, so then I can kill that Jace with Thassa. Yeah, I can make Thassa unblockable. If I draw land, I can Master of Waves. If not, I can Omen of the Sea. Scry 2. Draw, you may reveal Giant. 2 damage to an opponent or Planeswalker. Giant spells are 2 less weird. Okay. That's what he's choosing to play. How many other giants do they have? Interesting. Always yield to that. Let's put... I can draw 2. No, let's put that on the bottom. I want to see if I draw a land. Nope. Okay. So 1, 2. Give Thassa unblockable. Go to combat. Attack Jace. And then let's play a Witching Well. Scry 2. Put that on the bottom. That on the bottom. Omen of the Sea. And triple Witching Well. Force negation? Sure. Okay. And then next turn we can Master of Waves. Healed through the turn. Sun Titan. Oh, that's not something I was thinking about. Get back to fairy or land. Ooh, another Jace. Okay. Bounce the Thassa. Hmm. This is an interesting. Uh, this is an interesting control deck. Wasn't really thinking about this with the Titans. So. Okay, Nixos. So that'll add 3, 6, and 6. They have one open, so let's play Thassa. And Master of Waves. It's uncounterable. Yield to this. Can also bounce this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 9 mana. I don't think them saving 2 off of playing a Sun Titan is going to be that relevant. Then I can use that to bounce the Titan if I needed to. Yeah, let's just... There's no point in bouncing that. Yep, it's... sure. Yeah, it's only the next. If it was all, then I'd be really worried. Yeah, if it was all, then I'd be a bit worried with playing multiple Titans, but since it's only next, I wasn't gonna bother. Okay. Oh, what do they have? For red, and a bunch of 2/1s. So they have to deal with Master of the Waves. Master of Waves. Otherwise, I'm getting it. Okay, so if they block 2 of these, it'll still... They have to block 3 of them. Oh, yeah, to fairy. And then they have another... And they had another Teferi in hand. Ah. Okay. Cracking the islet. Yeah, I just want to see what's in the graveyard. I keep dealing with this. A third Bone Crusher? Really? Come on now. This is not cool. Wait, a 4th Bone Crusher? That's not cool. That's not cool at all. Scribe, put that on bottom. Gadwick. Okay, so okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, okay. to add, then blue, undo that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. X is 3, and then we have 4 left to play a Master of Waves. They land. Let's play Master of Waves. Undo that. 3 for a Master of Waves. Sure, let's tap down a Bone Crusher. Aw, they only wanted to play. They just scooped up the whole thing. Okay, well, that was still very, very interesting. That was an interesting deck. I liked it. Okay, well, I guess I'll see you guys in the next game. That was fun and definitely very interesting. I kind of want to see what other giants they had in the deck, or if it was just Bone Crusher and then Sun Titans. But yeah, Sun Titan bringing back Teferi, the Bone Crusher giant. I don't know what else they have. I would have liked to see some sideboard that they had against us, but oh well. It was still cool. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next game. Hi everybody, got a game here. Of course, we would like to go first. We're gonna have to mulligan that. That was an island. There's a possibility. Let's keep it and put let's put one of the masters on bottom. This hand doesn't really have a whole lot going on, which kind of sucks. But I don't really want to go down to 5 against an unknown deck in game 1. Yield through the turn. I guess I shouldn't yield through the turn, but end with a counter spell. Zagoth Triumph. Oh, did I just skip through my own turn? I just skipped through my own turn. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks. Oh well. I feel really stupid. Violent Outburst. False Trickery. Counter spell, choose 1, 2, 3 at random. If they mill that many cards, exiles from the top of their library. Okay. Uh, what? Wait, what? What just happened? Controller mills that many cards, exiles cards from the top until they exile non-land with a different name than the spell. They may cast that card without playing its mana cost. Okay. So what? So they mill everything, but like I don't. Okay, I really don't understand what the heck is going on. Um, I really don't understand. I mean, yeah, sure. Uh-huh. I really don't understand what's going on here. Um, Force of negation? Um, this member does nothing. Um, well, Chalice, if we get to 4 mana, we can stop Tybalt's trickery. Let's cut out 2 Omen of the Sea, 4 Omen of the Sea, and a Spreading Seas. Okay, I really don't get what's going on. Yes, go first. Mulligan. Yeah, let's keep that and put Master on bottom. Done. Yeah, and I'm looking up what this is. Okay. Step, sure. We will seize claim that. Sure. Sure. Play Castle Vantress. Spreading Seas that. Keep them off of anything that's not blue. Okay. It's hard to look up how this works while I'm also playing game. Okay, so let's just whatever. So I guess we can actually play Thassa right now. Okay. Okay. Sure. And step, yeah. Yield to my own scry. Let's put it on bottom. We're really just looking for a land at this point. Okay, add one. 1, 2, so I can add 3 with it. So yeah, let's add 1. Nykthos. Choose 1 to keep. 2, 3, and 4, and Chalice. 2. Sure. I think this works because it stops Tybalt's trickery from being cast. I've seen like a couple deck lists pop up with it, but I didn't actually really look into them at all. So don't really know what it does, or I guess how it works. So we can play Brazen Borrower at the end of their turn. It's gonna keep playing a ton of lands. Sure. And stuff, we will Brazen Borrower. Okay. So it's now a creature. Okay, cool. Go to sideboard. We're gonna keep it the same. Okay, I'm still really interested. Okay, so here it is. Monkey's counterspell. Oh, because it's any, it doesn't, okay. I was reading Tybalt's Trickery wrong. So yeah, you only have, that's, yeah, you only have Tybalt's Trickery, land, and mulligan, force negation. We're gonna keep that then. Get rid of one of the Nykthos. Done. Garden. Okay. Sure. God, this is such a weird deck to play against. I guess we're just gonna always try to keep them off of red-green as much as we can. Okay, they're attacking for the 0. Gotta like it. Okay, so another those we will name Wizard. Non-land permanent. Yeah. I guess I could have just cast that Harbinger. Would have been smarter to do. Dryad. Sure. Last zone. The end of the turn, we will petty theft that. For 1 in blue. Okay. Is that? Sure. Sure. Creature. So we can cast this Brazen Borrower. Garen Brig. Yeah, they probably turn into some kind of Valakut deck. Probably just like smash all 15 in. Yeah. Tribe Scout. Okay. That's an interesting one to include. End step, we will cast this. Okay. Main. Might as well play the land first. Shouldn't matter. Back here. Cavern naming. Giant, yep. Then they're gonna cast Primeval Titan. Yep. Yep. Oh, we're gonna get stumped, yeah. Field of the Dead and Valakut triggers. Always yield to these. Oh, I can't. Always yield to these. Okay. Back, we're just gonna Harbinger, bounce that. Okay. Slam down more lands. The Tribe Scout is really interesting in these decks. It's definitely good. But it's definitely good. It's just a very weird card overall, I think. So I'm gonna take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plus 13, 16. I'm gonna take a 19 next turn. As long as they attack with prime time, which of course they will, but you know, or I guess what, 21? If, yeah, they have a land off that, and, well, 2 cards in a hand. Well, plus, I don't know if they have, yeah, they don't have more. Oh, they do have more Valkuts. But they didn't play the Dryad first. Okay. I definitely would have tried to play the Dryad first. You might as well. Okay, they had another land to play anyway. They're still going. Yeah, why still go? You have the kill. I'm gonna make him do it. Yeah. Okay. That deck was very interesting. Screw Tybalt's Trickery. That's ridiculous. I guess from a design perspective, like I could see them feeling like, oh, it's really interesting and everything, but 2 mana to like and like yeah, as a counterspell is awful. But targeting your own stuff, like you can do a lot of broken stuff with that. I some of the stuff that they get through testing, just like can guarantee they didn't think for a second of any of the other formats other than standard. Yeah, that I don't know, like part of me is like, yeah, screw that, just get rid of it. But maybe there's stuff that can deal with it easier. And I guess game one, it's just like a free win against anything that's not control heavy. But there are some stuff, like if you're playing aggro deck, you're just screwed. You're just gonna lose faster. Like with our deck playing Force Negation, you always have an out, but you have to mulligan until you hit that Force Negation. And then we also had Chalice, which can help. But oof. I hope there's something to deal with that card soon. Or if stuff that comes out that can help push that out. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next game. Hi everybody, got a game here. We're on the draw. That's nothing on turn 1. You know what? I have a feeling about this hand. I don't know why. I just do. Aether Vial. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, let's seize claim that. Well, we drew a 1-drop, so I guess that feeling was spot on. I think with them having Aether Vial, ideally had a Witching Well instead, but that doesn't quite matter. Arbiter, sure. Until they path me or ghost quarter me, that doesn't bother me at all. It's Omen of the Sea. This is shaping up pretty well. Field that. Let's put the island on bottom, Kira on top. Aether Vial for 1. Give her. Nice. This is looking like mono white Death and Taxes. It could be could still be green white or black white, but probably not. Non-basic center tapped, that's fine with me. Don't really have many non-basics. Let's go Kira. What's that? Weird. Yep, we're just gonna take it. And then we... Ooh, another Aether Vial? That's not great. Okay, another island. Let's go... Harbinger. Targeting Archon. Yes. Play a Witching Well, to which they'll probably flash in the Archon. Yeah, but it lets us get 2 cards out this turn. Put that on the bottom, put that on the bottom. So neither are really gonna get us where we want. Okay, yeah, they're staying at 3 on that one. Okay, we will just take the 4. Another Arbiter. Sure. Their Master, okay. Let's play the island. Play the Master of Waves. Yield. Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna attack. We'll wait for... Yeah, there's another Archon, I kind of figured. I had that feeling again. Archon is really good against most decks. Still good against our deck. It stopped us from getting 1 extra guy off of a Witching Well, playing another Witching Well. But since we're playing mostly islands, the other deck doesn't hurt us as much. It's really good against decks with a lot of fetch lands. Yeah, we'll take the 4. Okay. Let's go to attack. I guess we could have played the other Master of Waves to make them 3/2s. But I'm not super worried about that. I guess that would have been strictly better, but I guess it doesn't quite matter, I don't think. I play Evaporation, okay. Seize Claim. Okay. What else do they have? Stoneforge. I don't think there's anything they can really Stoneforge here. Like Sword, if they draw another land, then they can Stoneforge and equip the sword. And then just win off of that. Blue. Back. This doesn't, yeah, that doesn't have flying. Sure. Because this is the point where I lose Kira. But do what you gotta do, right? I'll go to 2. Nice. Whew. Okay. So Echoing Truth isn't terrible. Another kill spell isn't bad. Force isn't great. If I forced their Aether Vial turn 1, that's not bad. Unnecessary. So yeah, let's just pull in a few things to deal with creatures. Let's get rid of 2 Seize Claim. And I guess not bring in the other Dismember. 2 Dismember, 2 Echoing Truth should be good. I don't really want all 3, because they're doing a lot of damage to me. Spending all that extra life isn't the best. Okay. Deciding whether they're playing first or not. I have to assume that they want to play first. Pretty much every time. Come on. White Death and Taxes is one of the first modern decks that I built, like, years ago. The first deck was Tron. It's like Red Green Tron. And then the next deck was Death and Taxes. That was fun. Oh, they left. Okay. Everybody keeps leaving. I the first game was really interesting, so I'll probably leave that in. I had a few games that I have to cut because just for some reason today everybody's just leaving. And that one we actually like sideboarded and stuff. They must have just drawn terribly and didn't want to play the second game. They were probably thought they were gonna lose anyway. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the recap. Hi everybody. So the deck did pretty okay today. Did pretty much what we were looking for. As said earlier, we had multiple people that just left after the first game, regardless if they won or I did. I don't quite know why, but I'm cutting most of those because they just like it's not very interesting. You can't really see exactly how the deck performs. But in our first game against the blue, red, white control, there was a very cool back and forth, and our deck did what it was supposed to. Their deck was really interesting, playing the new Saga for Giants. I really thought that deck was cool. I wish we got to play more than one game. That is one where they left after the first game. They had sent a message saying they wanted to play against something more competitive, which I guess just wanted to play against, you know, the tier decks in the format right now, which obviously this one isn't. but that game was definitely very cool. Their deck was also very cool, which we got to see what other giants they played other than Bone Crusher and the Sun Titan to get off of that saga, but sadly we did not. And then the next game against that Tybalt's Trickery deck that has the transformative sideboard into a Falca deck like Primetime and Dryad. That is insane. Tybalt's Trickery. When I saw that card, just like, that's really interesting. I bet you can do some cool stuff with it. But never thought about the just like comboing into an Oracle or something akin to that. So I hope, and like there are some things that you can do to get around it, like anything that stops your opponent from casting more than one spell, or if you have counter spells, you can deal with it, but it's really hard if you're playing a creature-based deck or an aggro deck. You're just going to get screwed by that every time, and being able to get that on turn 3 by just playing Violent Outburst is ridiculous. But luckily this deck we have Force Negation and Chalice of the Void to help deal with those. And then yeah, we just lost against the Valakut side. I guess like if I had assumed that they were gonna try and like sideboard into that, which I didn't really know anything about that deck prior to playing this, I probably would have taken out the like the chalices and the force negations and then shoved back in. I think I took out. I think I took out a couple spreading seas maybe. Don't quite remember how I sideboarded, but I definitely would have put in the Ashiok against that deck. And maybe Tidebinder Mage, so that Primetime could only attack once. And then maybe like Echoing Truth and the other Dismember. Probably the other Dismember. And if I took Dismembers out to deal with the Dryad, maybe Echoing Truth to deal with Dryad as well. But that deck is interesting. I like the only thing that sucks about that as sideboards like that is that you don't really have anything specifically against other matchups. So if you need something against, graveyard decks, or if there's decks that play like ley lines and they assume that you're bringing those in, or like that sideboard package in or whatnot, it can be really hard to deal with. But it's still an interesting deck. Kind of want to see Tybalt's Trickery get pushed out of the format before it really fully gets into full swing. I'm not a huge fan of decks that are just like, okay, turn 3, I get this enormous dude that you can't do anything about on the board, and with Tybalt's Trickery, you casting it, giving you the extra turn. So not only do you cheat it in, you also get to attack with it right away. Is ridiculous. But we'll see how that ends up changing things, or if it gets banned, or if it gets, phased out through different cards. It's like, even if you're playing, Death and Taxes lists, like Archon can deal with it, Eidolon of Rhetoric can deal with it, or if you're playing like Rule of Law, or just like those effects can deal with it, because you can't cast the Tybalt's Trickery off of the Cascade trigger anymore. But yeah, we'll see how that ends up going. And then in our last game against the Mono White Death and Taxes, that was also pretty interesting. They had a few things, but like Leonin Arbiter and the Archon don't really affect our deck too much because we're not fetching, and we only drew basic islands. I think I bottomed the only cavern we saw. And then like our Seas Claim, Spreading Seas don't do a whole lot against that deck unless we draw like 3 copies, and they're not drawing a lot of lands. But then they also scooped after the first game. So sorry guys, I don't really know what went on about that. But I think game 2 would have been similar to game 1. I mean, we didn't have a whole lot. We just had a couple like echoing truths to put in. But yeah, the deck did what it was supposed to. Can get a lot of devotion out, and having a lot of the devotion being in enchantments and the few artifacts helps you keep those out, even if your opponent plays kill spells and whatnot. So I think that did all right, and there is a lot of draw fixing, so it's hard to have really bad hands. But yeah, but yeah, the games went well. I had fun playing this deck, and hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Sorry there was less games than usual. But thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. If you liked the content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I also have a link to my Facebook page in the description. Feel free to follow that as well. I post all the videos there. And have my email in the description if you want to email me any deck lists for whatever formats you want. I mostly do Modern, and then Pioneer. It's what I would know best. Sometimes I might do other formats, but if you send me a deck list that I enjoy, I will definitely try to play them on the channel, whether it be Standard, Legacy, even Vintage, or Pauper. I might do some Pauper in the future as well for my own. I have a couple of deck lists that I've made. But yeah, please feel free to email me, like, subscribe, and there's also a link for this deck list in the description as well. So yeah, thank you all for coming. Have a good day. I will see you next time.